waiting. It ain't gonna come to you, go make it do what it do. While you wishing on a star, I put sixes on my car, then cruise up the street and pull bitches from afar. Cause I'm not the project, we used to look like bombs, now we ride third and fairway. We looking like we won, like I remember them cuts when I used to sell dope, running from the police, walking on a tightrope. We were trying not to slip, we hope they violated. We were trying not to clip, look how they find not to clip. Yeah, I put my mind and my grind with this here. Took my time with my rhymes and I'm finally here. I remember elementary, I was wearing bobos. Now I can't fall off, I stay up like I'm on no-dos. And I ain't stopping, bro, I keep it popping like Fofo. But they don't wanna let me in the game like the Dogo. But look how I pulled up, look how I walked in. The elephant is in the room, ain't nobody talking. Then they start mumbling and looking at me crazy. Yeah, I know I'm late, but I finally made it.
I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. I'm so glad I made it. Glad I made it. Glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm so glad I made it. Glad I made it. Glad I made it.
Now as I sit in position, wonder on superstition, second guessing religion, trying to get in where I fit in. I think I'm complete, but I feel like something missing. Let me tell you where my head is. Look, listen, pay attention. See, I was down bad, and I was really hurting, and they counted me out. They was about to close the curtain, then my nigga came through, and he gave me this advice. He said, your best defense is open, and I started living life. I was done with that slum shit, I started living right, cause you can lose your life in the God-given night. If it ain't about a profit, you really need to stop it. If you see something you like and you want it, gon' cop it, cause you only live once. You don't get a second try in. Plus, life is short, so I'm living like I'm dying. Man, we used to walk to the store, bitching and crying. Now we ain't got to drive to the venue, we can fly in. I remember Bobos and hand-me-down clothes, and my closet looked like a shoe store to the fashion wardrobe. High ceilings and marble floors, flat screens on the wall. We made it this far, but we still got so far to go.
Glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm so glad I made it. Glad I made it. Glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm glad I made it. Glad I made it. I'm so glad I made it. Glad I made it. Glad I made it.
Yeah, man, it's Pussy Valley all day, every day. You heard me? They ain't gon' never stop. This motherfucker, I'm talking about doing this shit. Pussy Valley big, man.
Play with me all the time, man. Little move, man.
I'm talking about, man, we got every motherfucker in this motherfucker. Ain't no mountain, man. You know what I'm talking about? The whole motherfucker.
Got that diamond, baby. I'm a big diamond wearing everything. Everything ain't easy, but somebody got to do it.
They told that young down, we still rolling though. That is still here, baby.
Still rolling.
For life.
Hey,
Man for life.
That kind.